'Twas the morning of Christmas when the Who's had awakened to find that the stockings and gifts had been taken. And though you think a Who Christmas could survive just on joy, turns out those old Who's really wanted those toys. But the town came together, they stood shoe to shoe. No one needed to speak, 'cause they already knew that the way to save Christmas, or so it was told, was simply to solve the Grinchy code. Which was lucky for them, 'cause out of the air came a man who looked just like Tom Hanks with bad hair. And he brought along friends like Nicolas Cage and old Dr. Jones, who was also his age. The town pointed with pride, their hearts started to swell.
"I know,"
said Nicolas Cage.
"I have bad hair as well."
His friend interrupted.
"We're looking for clothes, and this Dr. Seuss book is the thing that we'll use. If I stare at this page for a small leap of time, we're pretty darn sure of what we will find."
"The culprit? The thief who pulled off this heist?"
"No, the fact that these books were way overpriced."
The Who's question is answered, but had no replies. I guess that's why they're known as the Who's, not the Whys. Jones said,
"I'll take this stick here, my staff of raw, and shove it on up your tiny hookah. Then the rest of the sun will melt all the snow and show us the place where your presents did go."
He positioned his stick just as he planned, but it did little more than to give them all tan. Then Nicolas Cage said to the mayor,
"Can I look under your desk? It might shed a little air."
And under the seal he found an inscription. He closed both his eyes, acting out his description.
"I'm led to believe that the man called the Grinch stole all your things and took off in a pinch. He cracked his whip on an antique sleigh and knew the right codes to get out the same way."
"You found all that out from the desk in his room?"
"Not really,"
said Cage.
"I just watched the cartoon."
When all of a sudden a blanket of snow covered the men from their heads to their toes. It was the Grinch himself who arrived with the stuff.
"You're lying,"
he said.
"And I'm calling you bluff. From that story you told, I'm sure to surmise the bandits that you seek are really you guys. See, I found that old sled and I supposedly used it to steal all the gifts from all of the Who's, but if memory serves and the truth might sting, it's you who has access to antique things. And that whipping you heard came from old Dr. Jones, while the Codemeister here broke into your homes."
The men blinked and reacted the way guilty men do, with a tug of their shirts, and not one goat but two. Then Betty Lou who is no more than two, and whose name we had changed, said that no one will sue. Said,
"Why are you trying to frame Mr. G? Clearly he's not all that well off as you three. He's got a bad rep from here to Barbados, and his movie did poorly on Rotten Potatoes."
But everything changed when they solved the Who's crime, and the Grinch now had friends for an awful long time. But not 'cause he learned the true meaning of things, but for simply reuniting the Who's with their bling. And as for the men, well, in Whoville they say that the movie appeal shrank 3 times that day.